My name is Valkyria, and our group chose topic 2 for this assignment. So we developed a human resources program for a bank that we created, named Maple Bank. The group members will explain in detail the expatriation of 5 employees to Japan. Expatriation is a decision that has strategic value. That's why Maple Bank is investing in the global mobility of its teams. The expat employee can bring knowledge and experience to other business units and help the company achieve its global goals. On the other hand, the experience of an international transfer can also foster the employee's own development, and when he returns to his home country, he takes with him everything he has learned and promotes local improvement. For this to be possible, expatriation should not be treated as mere administrative bureaucracy process. Maple Bank focuses on culture and soft skills. Our strategic planning has the mission of structuring the objectives to be achieved in the short, medium, and long term for the company. In this planning should be made a survey of existing resources in the bank. In case there are no internal resources, a cost plan should be prepared for training or acquiring workers with the appropriate profile. However, after correlating the desired employee profile with the future international function, it is maybe necessary to plan and execute a prior recruitment of existing workers in the labor market or some competitive firm in order to anticipate the future. Strategic follow-up of an expat is required so that when their mission is completed, they will be properly recognized upon return to the parent country. A valued repatriation involves recognition and professional appreciation, which is important to motivate, retain, and create sharing of knowledge and experience by this employee with the other colleagues.
The success of the internalization of Maple Bank is largely the success of expatriate workers. This success is due to the effective recruitment and selection of candidates based on careful planning articulated between the company strategy and the Human Resources Department. International missions are sometimes conducted and organized in the wrong way, often leading to poor performance by workers. Our recruitment and selection for an international mission is defined by the following steps: analysis of the function to be performed, definition of the structure of the worker profile to occupy the post, analysis of the environment to which the worker will be expatriated, and monitoring of the expatriate to mission to repatriation. In integrating an international mission, the worker will have to go through various stages of professional and personal life to achieve psychological stability. Only when the individual is integrated into the host country and its role will be reach full being. In the recruitment and selection process, all factors that may affect the employee must be foreseen. First, the destabilization factors, such as the lack of job satisfaction and the non-adaptation of the family. If these factors are detected, they can be minimized or resolved. In the worker profile structure should be analyzed by flexibility, personality traits such as self-esteem, integrity, security, courage, sociability, warmth, education, and his or her profile, professional experience. However, the Maple Bank's policies inform that internal workers who have good references are selected, and only if there are no workers internally with the defined characteristics, outside workers get recruited from the labor market. Maple Bank has a preference for internal employees well known to management and who have references to their professional performance. Internal workers are the first choice because they are confident that the bank, even at a distance, maintains a single philosophy. These workers, having assimilated management practices and due to their performance, give management confidence to develop the business in their host country. Even away from the direct management of the parent company, the company routines will be maintained, thus maintaining a link to the parent company's principles. This way, the worker themselves stay connected with the bank, maintaining an expatriation cycle that ends in his or her repatriation. The analysis of the environment to which the worker will be expatriated is the starting point in our international human resource mission cycle. Account should be taken of the host country's organizational culture, accommodation, language, local culture, and legal obligations. Expatriates should be monitored throughout internalization until repatriation, which aims to contribute to their successful adaptation to the mission and retention in the repatriation process. The retention of expatriates in the bank is the culmination of successful in recruitment and selection. It also represents for the company a financial recovery for all investment made in the employee, but also a recovery and retention of international knowledge and experience, which enhances the bank and exchanging relationships globally. Compensation is part of the set of rewards that involve financial aspects offered by Maple Bank in return for the services rendered to them by employees. Under the direct compensation label are all amounts paid to the employer, such as salaries and bonuses, over which the employee has full decision as to the destination to be given to the resulting amounts. In the indirect part of compensation, by contrast, the destination of the amount spent by the employer on behalf of the employees previously specified. This category includes benefits such as health care, insurance, and food allowances. In such cases, the employee does not disperse the amount awarded, but must make use of that benefit in what has been specified by the bank. A variation of the equivalent plan is that based on the home-based balance sheet, because it links the expatriate's compensation to his or her home country. Compensation is established by the equivalence of the purchasing power in Japan. This form is generally less expensive and facilitates repatriation. Maple Bank considers that this type of system is particularly used for senior or middle managers in temporary transfers between 1 to 5 years, and it is not appropriate for definite or indefinite transfers.
Training, expatriation preparation. Having the worker involved in the whole process of internalization as well as being a motivator helps to reduce minor failures that might escape international HR management. Also, having the worker involved early in the internalization process minimizes the impact of the entire project. It's important for the worker to feel during the 4-year expatriation that his company has planned significantly for his well-being. Their well-being goes through the management receiving rewards and compensations that leave them satisfied, motivated, and with feelings of accomplishment and recognition. But it will be equally important that before and during the expatriation period, the employee is trained to be updated not only at the host company, but also the parent company when they are repatriated. Maple Bank seeks competitive advantages by creating new subsidiaries through mergers, acquisitions, or joint ventures, and resorting to the expatriation of its employees to maintain a strong international presence. Human resources departments play an important role in articulating two distinct realities: the local reality, the parent company, and the global reality, the host country. In the end, the affiliated companies will have the same strategic objective as the bank. For both the parent and the subsidiary companies to have a global language, it is essential to assimilate the culture or even a cross-cultural adaptation of the employees in the preparation phase of expatriation. In training, the workers will listen to testimonials from other employees who have been on assignment in Japan and given the opportunity to know the place, culture, and language in which they will live and work in for 3 years. Maple Bank highlights 3 areas of training. So cultural assimilation programs, cultural orientation programs, and information about the destination country, training on values and behaviors of different cultures, and language training. Successful adaptation will not only depend on training, the employee and their family will also have to adapt to new cultures and customs. The cross-cultural adaptation of expatriate employees refers to various aspects of their life and family life in the host country. Valued expatriate. As internalization is an important step for Maple Bank, it is natural for the expatriate worker to feel valued and motivated. Motivated for the incentives the company has given, and valued as they have been chosen and invited to such a responsible mission. This feeling of appreciation and motivation is fundamental for the employee to overcome the difficulties of integrating into the host country and company. Even if integration is well planned and the worker has good communication and cultural adaptation, there is always the risk of a mismatch. Naturally, the expatriate worker will devote more of their free time to work because they do not yet have a professional and social connections in the host country, thus giving them a greater dedication to work. However, this dedication must be accompanied by international HR management so the employee does not create barriers unconsciously. Barriers can be both professional and social, so it's very important to bond with new colleagues. The expatriate should, within the first 6 months of expatriation, hold an informal meeting in the host country with international HR management team in order to ascertain how his or her expatriation is taking place. The employee should not miss the support and concern of the parent company, and a personalized and informal follow-up helps to adjust small unforeseen gaps in the expatriation training plan. So deploy to Japan. Japan has nearly 30 different work and long-term visas for expats to apply for based on their job and reason for moving. The length of time can be anywhere from 3 months to 5 years. No work visa is valid for more than 5 years. Japan's government recently introduced the specified skills visa. Split into 2 types, this visa is meant to encourage foreign workers to come to Japan and fill employment gaps in certain labor sectors. In total, the government hopes the visas will attract around 500,000 new foreign workers to Japan by 2025. Working in Japan can be quite challenging. Cultural differences can be extreme, especially for women. They can earn 25.9% to 72% less than working men in the same position. In addition to the cultural shock, working in Japan requires a replacement specification visa. So who can work in Japan? All those who already have a guaranteed job in Japan. As the work visa does not allow stay in the country to find work, it is necessary to already have attained a job. Only highly qualified professionals are issued work visas. Therefore, the occupation must be on the list of qualified professions determined by the Japanese Immigration Service. There are several types of work visas, but the most common are issued to professionals in the field of engineering, business management, and those who have been transferred internally within the same company. Visas are not issued to those seeking menial work. What is a certificate of eligibility? The certificate of eligibility is that document attesting that the profession and the foreign official will be exercising in Japan is in accordance with immigration laws and with the qualifications of permanence. It is recommended to present the certificate upon arrival to avoid complications with immigration. So the certificate of eligibility application, it is an application form. It requires photos within 6 months of the application procedure of your upper body and uncovered head, a return mail envelope asphyxiated with a stamp worth 392 yen for the delivery purpose, documents clarifying that the person concerned is a spouse of the Japanese national and the copy of his or her resident card, documents clarifying that the profession and income of the person concerned and their spouse, a letter of guarantee by the person living in Japan, a document that provides the status. So Japanese spouse. If the employee was married outside of Japan and their marriage has not been entered in his or her Japanese spouse, they will need both the koseki and a wedding certificate with translation if the certificate is not Japanese. The koseki will have to be acquired from his or her spouse's hometown, city hall, and the wedding certificate from wherever they are registered for their wedding. These documents are there to provide to prove the relationship. Even if the marriage is not recorded in the koseki, The employee still has to submit it in order to prove that their marriage is not recorded. Otherwise, the employee's alternative documentation might be accepted. The eligibility certificate can be issued through a lawyer in Japan, through the Japanese embassy, or a consulate. Once the certificate of eligibility is acquired, the work visa process is almost complete. Globalization has altered the labor market. Maple Bank is currently headquartered in Toronto, but some of the workers may be performing jobs anywhere in the world. This mobility is a challenge for everyone. For our bank, we needed to reinvent the change our human resource management processes. International developments are needed to meet both the bank and the employees' needs. Having the best workers on international missions requires a strong investment from Maple Bank and requires an international HR management department with international capacity and knowledge. With the restructuring of a simple HR department to the international HR department, there is a direct link between who selects the workers and who creates the goals. It is very important that there is strategic planning to choose the right person for the right place and to have direct dialogue with its employees. It is vital that international HR management departments understand what drives the employee and how to keep them motivated and satisfied in Maple Bank. We believe the efficient strategic planning involves planning the beginning, middle, and end of the mission. Although the biggest challenge is centered on repatriation, a period where there is high failure rate that leads to workers leaving. Maple Bank's international HR management is constantly reviewing and contributing to improvements that can be applied to the internalization process. These improvements are primarily intended to give our company and employees the most out of this experience.